New question, the Leader of the Third Party.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, my question is for the Premier. The trial of two top Liberal operatives, including the Premier's Deputy Chief of Staff, got underway last week in Sudbury. And it didn't take long for Ontarians to learn shocking new details about how far the Premier and her Liberal Party were willing to go to win the 2015 Sudbury by-election. It's alleged that the Minister of Energy demanded paid jobs for staff in exchange for running as the Liberal candidate in the by-election. Can the Premier tell us right now, did she agree to this demand?
Whip. Thank you, Premier.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I've been very open with the legislature, I've been open with the media and with the public about the allegations related to the Sudbury by-election, Mr. Speaker. As the Leader of the Third Party knows, parliamentary privilege extends to all members, exempts a member from the normal obligation to attend court if summoned as a witness, Mr. Speaker. I've said all along that I would be open and transparent and that I would work with the process, and that is exactly what I have been doing, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, I will waive my parliamentary privilege. I will appear as a witness on September 13th, Mr. Speaker, and the matter is before the courts, and we really need to let that process play out, Mr. Speaker.
Supplementary.
Speaker, it appears from the evidence that the only reason the Minister of Energy himself has not been charged is because under the law it's illegal to offer a bribe but not illegal to accept one. The Minister appears to be hiding behind a legal technicality, and the Premier appears to be encouraging him in...
Come to order, please. Please finish.
When will the Premier show the kind of leadership that the people of this province expect, admit that there was wrongdoing in Sudbury, and ask her minister to step down from Cabinet?
Thank you.
Minister of the Attorney General.
Attorney General.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I think, Speaker, the Leader of the Third Party and all members of this House very well know
she should get out
that this matter.
Second time, Chief Government Whip.
Speaker, this matter is before the courts as we speak, and it will be highly inappropriate for any one of us to engage in any conversation or speculation about that case, Speaker. And I urge all members to respect the rules of this House, to respect the legal process, independent legal process that is ongoing, and refrain from asking questions that could have an impact on that important case that is going on. Thank you very much.
The member from Hamilton Mountain come to order. Thank you. Final supplementary.
Inappropriate is the shenanigans that went on in Sudbury. That's what's highly inappropriate. Demanding jobs in exchange for running is a pretty serious allegation, and the Premier should take it seriously too. She should ask her Minister of Energy to step down from Cabinet until this trial concludes. And it can be determined by the courts whether or not the minister was offered or accepted a bribe. Will the Premier ask her Minister of Energy to step down?
Attorney General.
Speaker, again, I believe it's worth repeating that this particular matter is before the courts. There is actually court proceedings that are ongoing, as we all know. It will be highly inappropriate for any one of us to engage in any speculation or commentary on that case, and we should respect that process. And I urge all members to respect that process as closely as possible, Speaker, and move on to issues that are important to the people of Ontario and talk about issues that will improve the lives of Ontarians and build a fair Ontario.
Thank you. New question. Leader of the Third Party.
Thank you, Speaker. My next question is to the Premier. Time and time again, the Premier told Ontarians that there was nothing wrong with what happened in Sudbury. But last week during the trial, we learned that while she was making those very assurances, she may well have known that her Minister of Energy requested paid jobs for staff in order to run for her party. Did the Premier authorize this quid pro quo in order to secure the minister's nomination for the Ontario Legislature?
Premier.
Attorney General.
Attorney General.
Speaker, again, you know, the Leader of the Third Party knows the rules very well, and I fully expect that she respects the rules as well. Speaker, as you know very well, and you and others in your role have clarified that when matters are before the courts, it is inappropriate to ask questions about those matters, inappropriate to answer questions about those matters. Speaker, in this particular instance, there is a court process that is ongoing as we speak, and it will be highly inappropriate for any member to engage in a line of questioning that could undermine that legal process. So therefore, Speaker, I urge all members to respect the rules of this House, to respect our independent judicial system, and refrain from asking questions that relates to that particular matter.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Speaker, I find it unbelievable that the Liberals are lecturing the rest of us about the respecting of rules. When it comes to the Sudbury by-election, all we wanted was for the rules to be respected. The Premier's former Deputy Chief of Staff is accused of offering the Minister of Energy a bribe to run in the Sudbury by-election. That's not in sync, Speaker, with the rules of the way people are supposed to behave in this legislature. We know from the testimony that the minister requested paid jobs for staff to run in the by-election. Did the Premier direct Ms. Cervera to give in to the minister's demand so that he would agree to be a Liberal candidate in the by-election?
Attorney General.
Well, Speaker, it was shocking and surprising that the leader of the third party continues to play politics when there's actually a legal process that is ongoing. I think that, Speaker, is unacceptable. This House is not the court of law. This House is not the judge and the jury. This House, Speaker, is there to represent the interests of the people of Ontario. This House is here, Speaker, to talk about things that are important to the people of Ontario. This House is not here to interfere in a legal proceeding that is going on, and I again urge all members, including the member of the third party, to respect the trial that is ongoing as we speak in Sudbury. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. Final supplementary.
Speaker, it seems the only way to get the facts out of this Premier and her Liberal Party is to drag them through court. When will this Premier stop hiding behind the trial? Order her Minister of Energy to come clean about his role in the actual scandal and start answering Ontarians' questions about what went on, what she knew, and when she knew it.
Speaker, I will repeat my answer again because I'm going to follow and respect the rule. That is, this matter is before the courts and it will be highly inappropriate to answer any questions relating to the case that is ongoing right now in Sudbury. Thank you.